What is going down? It's DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another YouTube stream. Just literally bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, I am never prepared for these streams, am I? What is going down? Hope everybody's well. You might be aware, you might be able to like instantly tell, you might not, but I've got some new glasses. So I don't know if anybody's aware or if anybody's not aware. I don't know if I've like ever brought this up on YouTube streams. I probably have at some point, but a couple of years ago I went for an eye test. I'm usually sort of every other year sort of due for an eye test, and cutting the story short, it was kind of like the first time like needing an eye test and needing glasses since moving to Hull. And Big Boots Opticians had just opened in St Stephen's, so I went there for my eye test, and the eye test seemed to go all fine, and everything seemed all fine and honky dory. So it only sort of felt right at the time that I'll just stay with these people and just get some glasses essentially, and just essentially see sort of what they have on offer. And the service was just absolutely appalling, and it took me from about the beginning of December 2021 until about March, nearly April 2022 to get the new pair of glasses. So essentially, by the time I got the new glasses, I was like nearly halfway to actually being due for another eye test. And then sort of earlier this year, a couple of months ago, before I moved house and everything, I was getting haggard with letters from Boots Opticians. You're due an eye test, you're due an eye test. And obviously I knew sort of, from more or less the day dot when I ordered my last new pair of glasses that I wouldn't be going back there again. And obviously I decided not to, so I went to Vision Express about a week ago, exactly a week ago today, and had an eye test. And the service has been absolutely fantastic. They text me today to say that my glasses were ready, which was out of the blue. I did not expect that they would get my glasses ready as quick as they've obviously got them ready. There was no snags. I just chose a pair of glasses, relatively straightforward, that I liked, and I could have these. I've got to sort of be a little bit wary and a little bit careful and think about what glasses I choose because of like how bad my eyes are. They have to make like really strong lenses, and they have to cut lenses down to put them in like frames. So if I go for like glasses frames that are too big, they will just essentially have to cut them down too much, and it'll like ruin the goodness of the lens that I need them for. So I can't get like really like thick framed glasses, which is a little bit of a shame because like they're the sort of style that look better and what I prefer. So I can only go thick to an extent, so I've had to go for something like these. They're not quite as thick as the last ones I had, but they were like the almost what I would class as the closest sort of thickness to what I had with the original glasses. So I picked them up today, and everything is all fine and onky dory. So as you can see, I'm wearing them now. So welcome back to another stream. So I'm gonna talk updates on the free album. So the free album that's coming out at Christmas that I have promised you all and shown you like artwork for it and stuff. I want to give you updates on that. Positive updates, good news. Don't worry, I'm not about to come on the stream and say I'm gonna have to delay the album or the album can't come out anymore. Don't worry about that. The album is still going to go ahead. The actual good news is I have actually got 8 tracks out of the 10 tracks for the album, which is really really good. So there is 8 definite tracks that I know are 100% going on the album, and some of them just need a few little bits of tweaking up here and there, and then they will be ready for the album. There's some of them that are like already like completely ready for the album, and there's just like 2 tracks that I essentially need to make for the album, and I'm working on one at the moment that I just started it yesterday, and had a little bit of a play around with it today earlier on, and I'm liking it so far. It's like it's far from finished at the moment, and there's like just a few bits I'm not happy with at the moment, but it's like it's coming together. So I attempted to do this track probably about 3 weeks ago, and I just couldn't like get it to work, and then I sort of like came back, revisited it last night, and it got something a little bit more sort of like indefinite, like down on the template. And there's just like it's like a transition. So I've got like like a breakdown, and then there's like a build up, and then it drops. And when it transitions from the build up to the drop, I'm just not completely happy with it yet. I think one of them is like the melody sound and just the way the melody is. So I've got to like work on that a little bit, because like the bass that I've used in the track, it's quite a pumping sort of bass, and then I kind of feel like the rest of kind of like the drop kind of lets it down. And like when you first like get to that point of where the bass comes into the track, it sounds like quite a heavy pumping track, and then it kind of just feels a little bit like, you know, you expect the drop to be something a little bit more sort of like just a bit more powerful than it actually is. And I just need to sort of work on some ideas sort of roughly to how I'm going to make that sound more powerful, and then I'll be well on my way to being happy with it, most definitely. But it's a track I've wanted to do for a while, and the album, it most definitely has a variety of like different styles of bounce on the track. So you've got like the typical sort of, yeah, this is the typical normal bounce donk bass, and then you've got like some tracks that have like organ basses in them, and then there's like some tracks that have more like bounce basses rather than like actual physical donk itself. There's just a little bit of a mixture in different like styles of remixes and bounce tracks, and I think it'll be really good for the album itself. So like each track in the album is giving you something different, rather than just like 10 tracks that relatively sound the same. So there's different styles, there's different remixes, there's different vibes in each track. You know, some tracks hit heavier, some tracks are meant to hit lighter, some tracks are, I suppose they're meant to sound a little bit more just like uplifting and summery. Some tracks are just, you know, they're meant to make you go like, yeah, this is banging, and then other tracks are also meant to make you think like, oh, I haven't, you know, I remember the original, I've not heard this for ages, kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to releasing the album. So like I say, there's a good 8 tracks, and I'm sort of working on, I suppose, the ninth track in no particular order, but it's like the ninth track out of the 10, and then the 10th track. I've got something in mind, but I'm not totally certain yet. Whether it's something that I'm gonna do, but I'm sort of looking towards sort of, you know, what I'm gonna do. But I want to remake a track that I made about a year ago, and I always liked it, but I just think I could do so much better with it now. And I lost the project file, so I'm gonna like have a re-crack at it. But it was a track called "Breathe Slow," and it was sung by Alicia Dixon, and I did a bounce version of it about a year ago, and I remember it distinctly because I put a sample up on Facebook, you know, as you do, and it was sort of at that point where like people were starting to say like, you know, you're improving, you're coming on here, and you know, your production's improving, Noble. And it always stood out to me because you know, someone commented on it, a friend of mine, and he's doing amazing with his production. You know, he's doing like, you know, really good, and you know, he's laying out some banging tracks, I won't lie. And I just remember him leaving like quite a nice positive comment, and I thought, you know, coming from someone who's doing so well himself, to, you know, to listen and to see that I'm actually doing quite well myself, you know, that he thinks I'm improving. That was obviously, you know, it was an uplifting comment for me at the time. But the track, obviously, listening back to it now compared to some of the stuff I've made sort of since then, you know, the melody lacked a bit, definitely, in that track. And it'll just be really good to maybe have another go at redoing the Breathe Slow. So I'm thinking of doing Breathe Slow personally, because when I did it last year, nobody that I know of had really done that track, if that makes sense. It was very sort of, you know, I couldn't find one. And then I also did a track called Impossible. I can't remember who did it, but since then I've heard a couple of other versions of it, and I've heard some people recently do it as well. So I'm kind of thinking I might just leave that one in the past, as it just, to me, other people are, you know, tackling it. And I did like the one that I did do about a year ago, but someone said that, I think someone said something about the piano just wasn't totally in key, or something like that. And I just never got round to going back and changing that little bit of piano. And I just think now, like, I'm just going to leave that track sort of dead and buried in the past. But the album's gonna have some great tracks on it, and I can't wait to bring it to you. So that's gonna be really good. So my initial thoughts is, I think the plan with the album is, my paydays, they're normally on the 21st of the month. So essentially, what I need to do is I need to holler up the guy who designed the front cover for the album, and I just need to holler him up and say, these are all the tracks, you know, that this is everything that's going to go on to the album. And then what I'll do is, obviously I'll holler him up like sort of just sort of near the 21st, or something like, you know, like the 20th or the 19th or something like that. And what I'll do is I'll just say, look, I'm getting paid on the 21st, so, you know, what I'll do is I'll sort you out, and then, you know, um, will you make me the album, the track list cover? And then all I've literally got to do is somewhere relatively just before then, hopefully, if I get the two tracks finished in time, is just work out the order that I want the tracks to go in. So what I'm gonna do is pick an order that I'm gonna put the tracks in, and then, you know, when we put them on the track list, they'll go in the order that the album is obviously going to be. And then what I was gonna do was do like a continuous mix. So I was gonna do like throw a mix in where I've like mixed all the tracks together. But I don't know if that would really be like up everybody's street. So whether I leave that or not, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. But essentially, um, I'll come up with some like sort of order and list, and we'll just sort of like list the tracks sort of from 1 to 10, and we'll put them in an order, and then people can go and grab the album. So I think I'm gonna put the album on Bandcamp. I think that's where I want to release the album. Just, I find that like quite easy, and I've seen people put like albums up on there before, and it's like quite sort of easy to sort of like drag, sort of like click on the tracks, and sort of like, you know, you can listen to like previews of each track in the album, which is really good. and it's a nice easy way, and I don't have to worry about like all these like different hype edit links, and just one link straight to Bandcamp, straight to the page where the album is. The album artwork will be on there, a list of all the tracks you can preview when you listen to them, and you can download them individually as well. So like if you don't necessarily want every album in the track, you can just go on to the album playlist. You can pick the tracks that you want to download, and you can play the ones that you want to play without sort of having to get all the album. It's just a free thing. So I don't really like get anything out of this. This is all me giving back. So it doesn't make a difference to me if there's only like, I don't know, 8 out of the 10 tracks that you really want, or maybe there's only one track that you think, yeah, I'll have this, and maybe the other 9 don't appeal to you. It's just the whole point of it is that it's me giving back to say thank you to you, because this year has been truly amazing for me, being able to have my sort of like tracks released, and be signed to some labels, and all I've done since the past sort of 7, 8 years is just push this music journey, push it from spitting a few bars in my bedroom to getting that first ever gig at my local rugby club when I lived in Driffield at the time, to getting my name for the first time on like rave flyers, to getting back into the DJing side of things, to learning the music production, to everything I'm doing, even right down into the youth work and having the job as the youth worker. Everything has really been like, and I'm truly blessed for it. You know, Loads of things that I've done along the way that I just think have massively improved my career as well. So stopping drinking, that was a massive thing for me. Um, Although I wasn't necessarily really what you would call like an alcoholic, I when it came to like going to an event or going to a rave, or it came to the weekend, I did like to knock a few beers back, and then knocking a few beers back led to let's go to the bar and get on the Jaeger bombs, and then getting on the Jaeger bombs led to getting on more Jaeger bombs, to then me going on the microphone and trying to MC and sounding so unprofessional because I was blaring my speech, or just not looking where I'm going, and knocking people's drinks over, and annoying people, and making a fool of myself, and being sort of told it's time to go home, Noble. And the most important one was missing sets. I only missed a couple of sets, but the fact that I missed a couple of sets, like being booked at gigs and then not being able to play the set, or being able to go on the stage and MC because I got too drunk. That was like the eye opener for me, that it's happened twice. So like if it's happened twice, like I don't want it to keep happening, because I don't want it to become an issue where then like promoters are saying like, I won't book this guy, he's unreliable, he gets too drunk, and then half the time he can't even play his set, that kind of thing. So it was kind of like, for me, it was like a nip in the bud when like my music was starting to do better, and I didn't want the drinking to affect it because I'd missed a couple of sets at gigs and stuff like that. I kind of thought like, I've missed 2. I don't want it to become a pattern, and I've got a good thing here where the music's doing quite well. So I gave that up, and having a friend that already like had given up drinking and had so many like positive stories to tell about sort of giving up drinking, has like truly been eye opening. And now I like go to raves and I enjoy them like so much better because I'm witnessing the whole night, and I'm seeing like all the live performances, all the live DJ sets. I'm witnessing the whole night. I mean, I'm not sort of being told the next day like, oh, do you remember when so and so did this, and I'm like, oh no, I don't, because I've remembered it all, which was really good. So giving up drinking was another big thing for me in my music career as well. And I will mention it, cutting out toxic people. I sort of cut out some toxic people in my life. So there was one person, I've mentioned it on stream before, but his girlfriend actually removed me off Facebook because I wouldn't get his boyfriend, I wouldn't get her boyfriend on at a gig that I was playing. And I wasn't even the promoter. So when I got booked for the Harder Southwest Festival a couple of years ago, just at the back end of the lockdown, my a friend of mine, well, an old friend of mine, called Ben, who was a DJ. His girlfriend had seen me like sharing this flyer and like, oh, do you reckon you could get Ben, get my Ben a set? And at the time, it wasn't my event. I wasn't the promoter, so I couldn't. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, I obviously said, not my event. It's just something I've been booked for. And then the next minute, I got all this like negativity in my inbox, like, you weren't there for me, you weren't there when when my baby was born, I've been going through hell, where were you? And I'm thinking at the time, like, you chose to get into bed with this bloke and make a baby, have your third kid, when you was already sort of finding it stressful with the two you've got. Don't come blaming other people for, you know what I mean, who you're talking to. So I do these because my phone storage. So my phone storage is absolutely shocking, and I don't have like the power on my phone to like record videos and edit them and stuff. So what I do is I put up these lives, and then when they're not live, people can still watch them. Like they can watch them back when it's not live, and it's just easier for me because I can just click go live, and then when I end the live, it just automatically uploads it to the channel. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about like setting it to upload. I don't have to worry about like if the upload fails, it just automatically puts it on, and people can still watch it. So that's why I do them, because it's just an easier thing. How's life? Life is all good. Life is all good. So yeah. So I cut negativity out, and that was a big thing. And it stopped sort of going around people that weren't really benefiting me, and people that were a little bit jealous of like the achievements I was making. And even though they wouldn't necessarily say it, like you could just tell that they were like closet jealous, and they'd talk sort of behind my back, and you just know that they were sort of like genuine. And although they'd act like that they weren't really, all that bothered and fussed, like deep down, they were bothered and fussed. Like they'd say like, oh, I'm not really asked about getting bookings, but deep down, they were asked about getting bookings, and they were jealous that I was getting bookings. And I think the thing what kind of you sort of like did it for them was the fact that that they've sort of been maybe DJing for a good fair few years, maybe on and off, they've spanned tunes for years. And then I made an appearance sort of into the rave scene sort of around 2019, when I started like jumping on the mic in nightclubs and stuff. And we're now 2023, and I've done quite a lot of stuff, maybe more than what some of them have actually ever done. Not to sound big headed, but I think that was kind of, at that point, that was kind of for them, like, how come he's done it in such a short space of time? And that's when all the, like the jealousy kicked in. So, yeah, so the album, so, free of just all the good vibes, and that's why I'm obviously giving it out for free. So, I'm hoping to release that round Christmas time. I'm not sure exactly when, no exact date yet, but it'll be around the Christmas period. So it'll be sort of any time sort of from, I would say, any time sort of from the 21st of December to anywhere sort of up to kind of like between Christmas and New Year. you know. So, anywhere sort of, from that 21st sort of, it could be like Christmas Eve or something. It could be like Christmas Day or something maybe. you know it all just sort of depends. I know this is Bounce UK. I know they normally put like a big playlist up at Christmas, and you can download a great load of free tracks. And they did it last year, and they put some belters in there. So I'll do it somewhere around that time. It might just be like maybe a couple of days after Christmas, just depending. But all I've got to really do, is I'm about a track and a half there, so I'm like working on track number 8. And like I said, there's just a few things that I'm not totally happy with yet, but it's coming along, and I reckon I'll be able to, to tweak them up. Um, if the worst comes to the worst, I'll just move on and do another idea instead for the album, and then I'll just go back and do that sort of track at a later date, and it'll get sent off to a label or something. Um, we can do some work, lad. Showcase your music. Have you got an email address? If you've got an email address, I'll send you some stuff over. So I mainly make like bounce and donk music. So like rave, sort of clubland, sort of 150 BPM stuff. I do have an alias that makes like 170 BPM hardcore, but I haven't really done much under that alias. And I have another alias called Grooving, and I'm making like house music with that. But I've only just set up that alias, and I've not really made anything yet, apart from a little collaboration track with somebody else. So at the moment, I'm doing a lot of like just the donk and the bounce and stuff like that. Um, but um, but yeah, I normally do have like bits of artwork for them. So normally, um, like, if I'm gonna send you anything, I'll send you stuff that's gonna come out for release. So I have a track that's coming out on Excite Digital on I think it's the 20th of December, and it's a rework of an old tune mashed up with some other vocals. And normally, like, it's them kind of tracks. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's normally tracks that are coming out that I'll send to you, because then you can put like the release date, and you can put a link to the website of where the track's obviously going to come out on. Obviously, stuff that isn't coming out, like, I won't sort of like promote that, because I like to promote, like, I'll put a sample up myself and say this is what I've been working on. But when there's like a definite release date, that's when I send it to like other people and say, look, feature this track, kind of thing. Because I might not ever release like that track I'm working on. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to build people's hopes up of like, just all these like different YouTube accounts and TikTok accounts, like, this track, and then people are commenting like, where can I get this from? And they can't get it. I'd rather like put something up, and then someone asks like, where can I get it? You can send them a link, to where they can get it. And I just think it works a lot better, because people can actually get what they're listening, if that makes sense, or they can find out the info about it. you know um but I mean, I release most of the music I'm making. It's just like the odd ones. Like there's one, a remix. It's a track called Too Close, and it's quite it's a rare track. So like, I've not heard like any remixes of it, especially like bounce remixes. And like, I haven't chose to release that yet, because it's quite special. And I feel almost kind of like quite rare owning like a version of the track. So I can play it in sets, but obviously, people can't grab it. So I wouldn't want you like to post that up because people will ask like, where can I get it from? And then oh, you can't. um, so yeah, I mean a lot of them are like, I mean you'd call them bootlegs. So they're like bootlegs, the remixes of like old dance tracks or remixes of old R&B tracks, old popular tunes, you know. So I just recently did a remix of Panic at the Disco, High Hopes. It got signed to Excite Digital, but like obviously it's a copyrighted vocal, so it does go up like that. Um, I did, just announced yesterday a remix of Cascada, Piece of Heaven. It's coming on my free album at Christmas. That is obviously, it's a popular dance tune from back in the day. But, they're just remixes, bootlegs, It's taking like a tune and speeding it up and turning it into a donk remix, essentially. So, yeah. Um, that is kind of like all the album stuff out of the way. So I guess moving into 2024. So 2024, a couple of gigs. One of them, I can announce it. I don't know if I've announced it on here yet, but it's Matt Rich's birthday. And it's at the Eiger Studios in Leeds. So, funnily enough, exactly more or less round about a year to that date where I'm going to be playing there next year. I played at the same venue for an event exactly a year ago, more or less, to like, the year before, so this year. So it was something like the 21st of January. I played at the same venue, and I played for an Orgasmic event. And it's mad that like a year on I'm doing a gig at the same venue, so like it's quite a crazy thing. So I'm gonna be playing a sort of like bounce stroke, maybe like into a hardcore set or something like that. I'm not entirely certain yet, but I just thought that was quite crazy. And then on the following week, which I think it's something like the 27th of January, I'm in Sheffield playing a gig. I can't announce it fully just yet because there's a flyer that's waiting to be. It's in the process of getting made, and I've got quite a good friendship with the promoter, so he's kind of like, we've been talking, and he's kind of like the person's taken a while with the flyer. And he's kind of like been trying to G him up, is the flyer going to be ready? And he's saying it, a bit slow, and he wants to get it out, and he wants to sort of like get promoting the event. So it was kind of that sort of like, oh, so we're just sort of waiting, like any time now, the flyer's going to come out. And I'm looking forward to being able to announce it. So I'm doing something a little bit different, doing something that I've not actually done before. So I'm playing a completely different style at the event. So I'm looking forward to doing that and doing a B2B set. So it should be quite fun, and it should be something a little bit different. So it'll be all gravy. And then apart from that, there's no real bookings announced at the moment. Like there's been talks of a few things. There's talks of an event sort of making a little bit of a comeback next year that I used to be a part of. So I used to be a part of it, and it was a really good brand. And sadly, it just took a little break, and it's I got told it was gonna make a comeback next year, but one of the promoters it had a kid, and the other promoter was just going through a few things outside of music and moved house and everything, and just essentially went on holiday and stuff, and just decided to give it a little bit of a break. But the one of the promoters, the one who's had the kid, is going to come back next year, I believe, and do something with the brand again. And obviously, I've been a big part of that brand, and I've supported it. So I'm sort of imagining that something will come my way, when and obviously if the brand does make a return. There's also another brand that is making a comeback as well. That I didn't think this one was actually ever going to come back, and I don't know if I'm going to be a part of it. Like I was kind of towards the end of its life cycle. When they announced that it was going to be the last ever event a couple of years ago. Well, it was just over a year ago now. I was a big part of the events, and sadly I couldn't make the final event. But I played sort of like the past 4 or 5 events, and I'd become like sort of like a big part of the brand, in that sense. So I don't know if I'll be making a comeback to the brand and making a return to the event. I don't think. I think they've kind of got the comeback event. I think they've kind of got that one like sealed and sorted. So I don't think I'll be a part of the actual like physical return event. But I will probably go back to the event like and support it, and I'll probably just attend it if I'm like free on the date. It's sometime in May. So whether the inbox comes knocking and they book me for it, that is going to be obviously something a little bit different. We'll find out. And then apart from that, my youth job, that is still going strong. That has been extended it's sort of been extended into the summer of next year, and then there was like hope to actually extend it like for the full year, but we just kind of sort of like coming up with a plan of like how we can keep like the project going. So like, because we've got to essentially, because I'm in like a funded job, so I've got to kind of essentially show the funders that what I'm doing is like worth funding, if that makes sense. So like they need to kind of sort of see a little bit more sort of like activity of like what's happening and stuff, and just a little bit more stuff going on, to make them think like, yeah, this is going well, and then they'll think obviously we're gonna fund this because it's going well, people are interacting and enjoying it, and you know it's obviously impressing them, if that makes sense. So so we'll see how that goes, but there's guaranteed work until June at the moment, with luck to extend it like even further, which is obviously amazing. And their aim is to keep the job going as long as they can. To keep this job for me, as long as they can, and hopefully it can last for many years, and we can improve music provision in the city, which we are doing, but it's just finding ways to sort of keep improving that. So it becomes a bigger, a stronger, and a better brand. So we'll just essentially sort of see how it goes. And what I was going to say is apart from that, Grooving Sounds. So Grooving Sounds is like the big thing that I want to push next year as well. So Grooving Sounds is coming on leaps and bounds. It's doing really well. The project is coming together, ready to launch. So we've got a pretty well built website now. I did do a stream and I like took you through the website. So the website is like really good. It still needs a few little like fixes and changes, and just a few things like adding to it. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie, like just over the past sort of week I've kind of lacked on it a little bit, so I need to get back in touch with the guy and say like, right, what kind of do we need to do next, sort of on the site kind of thing, because I know there was something he wanted me to do, and then I was at a work event, my youth work. I was at a work event at the time, and I didn't really briefly fully take in what he wanted me to do. And then time just went, and then before you know it, it'd been a couple of days, and so I just need to readjust that, and get back on with that, and then we can start sort of pushing things out there. We've had submissions, so there's a good sort of like 5 tracks that are signed, a good 5-6 tracks that they're signed up to the label. So that is obviously all that is all fine and dandy in that sense. And we now have an artwork guy. So a guy is going to do some artwork for us, and he was very willingly happy to help out with the project, which absolutely blew me away. That was obviously a really nice thing, because the thing about this project is like the project at the moment, like it's costing me, if that makes sense. So like obviously like I've had to sort of like pay for a website server, and then I'm kind of having to sort of like I've had to pay for like the theme for the website and stuff, and I've had to kind of like pay to kind of like get everything like set up and running. And and then like with some of the other plans I've got, like the aim is to have like an online radio station that connects off with it as well. So there'll be like Grooving Sounds Radio that so essentially I've got to sort of like pay, like I'd have to pay for like a server, like for broadcasting the music on and stuff like that, which should obviously, it's another thing. So I was obviously thinking like, if I've got to like kind of pay a guy sort of like to make artwork for me, it's it's going to become quite a costly thing. But at the same time, like I'm a big believer in like, if people are going to do things for me, like they should get rewarded for it. So I asked the guy, I said like what would you want in return, kind of thing, just to inquire. So yeah, fire email over and we'll chat. Have a good day, Stacey. No, but do I have the file for your van video freestyle? I have a plan to have a show on your channel. Host, we can talk, yeah. And the file for the van, I don't have that, no. I spat that like Jesus Christ, 2019. So yeah, that is like nearly 4 or 5 years ago now. Like, that's crazy. Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, 2019. So 2020, we're 2023 now, nearly 2024. So 4 years since 2020, 29. So yeah, so this February next year, it'll be 5 years old. Oh my days. That is crazy. Like, wow. Oh, time actually flies. Wow. 5 years since I did that. That is mental. that is actually crazy. That has like blown me away. That it has actually been like 5 years since that. That's crazy. No, I don't have the file for it. YouTube to MP3, and I could get a file back, but Jesus Christ, going back in time. Just watched it. Yeah, crazy old times. That was when I was like, doing all the MC and stuff. Which I might bring some of that back. Bro, at this point, you can just re-upload it. At least once a month, someone uploads it to TikTok. So, yeah, someone uploaded it to TikTok only just recently, and it hit something like 30k views or something like that. So, hit it up, hit me up, post it for all I care. I'm at that point, like, half of the people that like put it on TikTok or like share it on Facebook, Like, they don't ask me if they can post it. You know, they don't even know really who I am. You know, they've just seen it online and they've just shared it because they've either liked it or they've laughed at it or they found it funny. So just yeah, um, yeah. So just share it. Just post it. You know, put it on whatever platform you want. Like, I don't use TikTok myself. I don't like TikTok. I've got reasons for not liking it, and I've been posted on there like so many times, but I don't go on there and use it myself because I don't like it. Um, but we'll link to the channel. Yeah, no, that's cool. Like I say, I'm not really fussed, you know. Like put it wherever. That's kind of my attitude to it because so many people have. Like, it'd be a bit like stupid of me now saying like, oh no, you can't post this when you know a good 20 other people over the past 5 years have put it on like various different channels. You know. You know, why would I then turn around and say no to you? Um, you know, just kind of feels daft, and you know, it's. I suppose at the end of the day, it's like it's more exposure for me as well. Definitely. Um, no, put it as oh, bear with me. I'm just trying to plug something in. Just title it as MC Noble. I really don't. Ah, there we go. I've got it. Gotcha. Boom. Now I can. Now I can open up FL. Yeah, just title it MC Noble. Either out in the garden or van freestyle, as a lot of people like to call it. All right, cool. So yeah, so going back to grooving sounds. Oh, me FL crashed. Yeah, so grooving sounds. So yeah, so a guy come on to me about artwork. I've actually signed one of his tracks. He's done a collab with another friend of mine, and my friend was like, he does artwork and stuff. And I thought, like, I can't really afford to pay for an artwork guy to knock me up loads of artwork. So I was a little bit reluctant. Like, I thought, you know, I'll try and be a little bit sort of like cheap and make the artwork myself. So I was making some artwork myself. And don't get me wrong, you know, it didn't look horrible, but he did make some way better artwork. And then obviously, um, you know, he said like he didn't want anything in return for it. So I was kind of like, you know, thank you. So um, so that's kind of like solve that, if that makes sense. That's, you know, that's really solved that. So we'll see. Our Instagram has custom artwork. Ah, buzzing. Yeah, wicked. Yeah, so that's sort of that sorted. So yeah, it's just I'm at that point now where I've got like the website's coming along. You know, we've got some releases sort of scheduled. It'd be nice to get some more submissions. You know, don't get me wrong. Um, you know, if you know anybody who's making music, you know, it can be like hip hop, it can be like dance tracks, it can be rave tracks, it can be like indie tracks. The only thing that I will say that like the only requirements is it's got to be like proper tracks. So you know it can't be just like sending me a video of somebody singing. It's got to be like, you know, if they've sung something and they've like proper, you know, recorded it in a studio kind of thing, then you know, um, you know, then I can obviously put that up because it will be like a proper, it'll be a full track release. You can, you'll buy it off of our website, and it'll be a proper, fully promoted, um, you know, it'll be a proper promoted thing, and it'll have its own artwork and it'll have its own promotion and stuff like that. So I'll check it out definitely. So Green Shark Media. And if it's like rapping and stuff, the only thing I really say is, um, that the raps have got to be kind of clean as well. So they don't have to be totally clean, but like I won't be willing to put out like somebody's rap track where they're like, every other word's a swear word kind of thing. If there's like a couple of swear words, and maybe like the rap talks about like, like a sexy girl or something, or maybe like just mentions drugs or something, like you know like that doesn't bother me too much. But just as long as it's not like all the way throughout the track, like if every other like word is like the F word or something, like I wouldn't want to put that out, just because I'm tackling this as kind of like a like positive sort of like up and coming sort of, a chance for people to like to break through and shine. And like I want people that come onto the label to like, be kind of like as good and sort of as big and professional, um, as they can. So it's got to be like proper, sort of like meaningful tracks, not just, I put this beat on and sprayed these bars to it. What do you think? It's got to be a track that sort of has a story behind it, or sort of has a meaning behind it. So we can actually give it like a full release, if that makes sense. Because I know people like they do come on and they talk about like, um, sort of like, I'm the best guy inside the town, I'll knock you out. But that's not the kind of thing we're after. Um, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, lad. Just don't know where to start. Honestly, lad, listen to Long Road now, and one tons, and I want to see your reaction. Yeah, I'll check it out definitely. As a matter of fact, I could check it out now. I'll do it while we're on the stream, and then you'll get my reaction. But if it sounds good, I'll put it out. That's essentially what I'm doing. But we're focusing on all sort of like different genres. So there is like DJ friendly rave tracks that are gonna get put out there as well. But there is also gonna be like other tracks, like hip hop tracks. But a big part about this label as well is like, if I'm putting somebody's track out, like they've got to promote it themselves to the moon and back. Like we can only promote it so much because we've got like 101 other things to do, like signing up new tracks, and getting artwork sorted, and if there's any errors on the website, fixing them up and making sure the website's running, and managing the actual like label itself. So if you've got like a track coming out on there, you've got to let people know that you've got your tracks coming out there. They can buy it there, and this is where it's gonna be. This is where you're gonna share it. Let people know where to go to get that track, and also promote our site as well, and say, look, there's other great tracks on here as well. And then everything will be all fine and dandy. It's just obviously, like I say, we can't do it all. So um, what can I say? Right, so green. Oh, some Green Shark Media. I've found you. Long Road.
There's a long road ahead, long road ahead, there's a long road ahead. But all we gotta do is take the first step. Easy can never be locked down, no, not for a second. I want to say because something has got to change from the top down. And a lot of what's going down has got to stop now. And shops looking around at the world today, it's on fucking fire. Why are we like this? Bloodshed in everybody's heading for the abyss. The world's burning up, we're moving quickly to the point of no return. We're not learning, we're not facing facts. We need to look at the bigger picture. We're in big shit, no doubt about that, no doubt. Shit, we're drowning in it. It's not getting better, it's only getting thicker. The world's getting sicker and sicker, and when it gets permanent, it stops turning. There's no fucking coming back from that.
Okay, so my thoughts on it, I like it. I think personally, he's not completely in time with the beat. I like the beginning bit, the kind of like chorusy hook when, you know, it's a long road ahead. But I kind of think like a lot of it was kind of like talking fast, but not talking in not like rapping in beat.
No coming back from that, and that's a fact, it's a fact. When all this is said and done, there's a long road ahead, son, but as long as there's breath in this chest, I promise you will do my
Yeah, it's not the most in time. Um, what else is there? Burnt bridges. And their upcoming. Not bad, not bad, but not the best. I certainly wouldn't release them, sadly. The guy, he was just out of time on Long Road. The second one was actually really quiet as well. Not like I had to turn my speakers right up to be able to hear it. So sadly not. So yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna cut from this because my phone is getting low, and I'm gonna work on this tune and let the phone charge because I need to let the phone charge. I need to put the charger in. I need to put the charger in. Oh yeah. Boom. Yeah. Charger. Updates. So that's what's happening. So like, comment, share. Peace.